Alright. Hello. Okay, let me first do the sound test. Alright. Let me see if it's recording sound and my voice. Alright, perfect. We're continuing with Time Princess. Today I have some time to stream it. I return to the palace ill at ease, and Mother and Dana do not come back until late at night, and they look disappointed. Mother goes to her room without saying a word, and I stop Nene. What's the matter, Nene? Did something happen? The Emperor did not attend tonight's banquet. He was slightly caught up in the state affairs, and he summoned Carl to his study. That's what I thought as well, and I waited for a long time, and the Emperor's mother called on him several times, but he never came. Perhaps the Emperor was dealing with something very difficult. I can't help but worry about Nene's future when I recall what Count Research said this afternoon. Do you truly want to become Empress, Nene? That might be a very dangerous decision. What are you saying, Sissi? Don't forget about Queen Marie Antoinette. Do you really believe the people who attacked us are members of Kossuth's party? Nene's calm smile betrays a hint of helplessness. You're grown up, Sissi. I know it wasn't an accident. I may be destined to become a caged bird or someone else's pawn, but I already made my decision. Nene, I wish to be the giant sheep you and our other siblings can rely on, Sissi. More importantly, I love him. So my greatest concern now is if the Emperor deliberately avoided me because he doesn't love me. Don't think that, Nene, no one could dislike you. Even someone as difficult as Aunt Sophie has nothing but praise for you. I know the Emperor must prioritize the nation, but I'm worried. This marriage is Aunt Sophie's plan, and perhaps he doesn't want it. I never seen you so unsettled, Nene. If you fall for someone one day, Sissi, perhaps then you'll understand the uneasiness I feel now. Count Reese's handsome face suddenly appears in my mind, and my heart skips a beat. Don't worry, Nene. I'm sure the Emperor will come to see you tomorrow. And what do I say to him when I see him? You can say whatever you like, hello, do you like hiking? I am so envious of you sometimes, Sissi. Of me? You're better than me in every way, Nene. No, Sissi, you can express your feelings so frankly, and your clear gaze is mesmerizing. But Mother says I'm not reserved enough. You have nothing to worry about, and once the Emperor sees you, he'll fall in love immediately. You're the best lady in the world, so you'll be the best Empress too. Nene is so amused that she can't suppress a laugh, but a moment later she's shaking her head again. I used this goal to motivate myself to learn and practice for so many years, French, etiquette, dance, and I didn't dare make a single mistake. But potentially being the best Empress doesn't guarantee the Emperor will fall in love with me. Nene lowers her eyes and her face betrays a faint weariness. I'm sorry, Sissi, I worried you. It's late and I return to my room. I don't feel tired at all, and I think about Nene and my own feelings. I finally understand the meaning of that line of poetry. Love is a star shrouded in morning fog. Huh. I'll change and go for a walk in the garden. All is silent, and I wander aimlessly to the summer palace small gardens in the moonlight. Heavy footsteps approach, and I spot Ida struggling to climb over a low wall beside the garden. Ida is still injured, and what is she trying to do? I chase after her, and I nimbly climb over the low wall, and I find myself in the pine forest outside the summer palace. The fine forest is shrouded in a mystical fog, and through the mist I catch the sight of Ida limping forward. As I try to catch up to her, a man emerges from the shadow of a tree and calls out Ida's name. And I duck behind a pine tree with thick branches and peek cautiously in Ida's direction. The man is tall and wears a mask, and his curly hair is messy and his posture is hunched. Why is Ida's friend hiding his face? They converse softly and quickly, and Ida's tone becomes agitated before long. They say my name. Are they talking about me? I can't hear what they're saying, but I think they're arguing, and I want to help Ida. But they are obviously acquainted, and if I rush forward without thinking, I may put Ida in an awkward situation. I will. Continue observing in secret. I should get closer and learn what they're arguing about before deciding what to do. I creep closer, leaving the large tree behind. The rustling of my dress is hidden by the sound of the wind, and even the wind is on my side. Snap! I accidentally step on a twig. Who is there? The man in the mask glares at me. Sissi, what are you doing outside the palace at this hour? I didn't mean to eavesdrop either, and I was climbing out for a walk, and I saw you climb over the wall. So you're the Elizabeth I spoke of. Who are you, sir? Don't be afraid, Sissi. He's my friend. I am indeed Ida's friend, and I am also a wanted Hungarian criminal. Since you're Ida's friend, I am no longer worried. Oh, what an interesting person, and you have to focus on the second half of what I said, no? I heard you were attacked by Hungarian refugees on your journey to Bad X, and do you not feel afraid? I trust Ida, so I trust Ida's friends. If Austria and Hungary continue to mistrust each other, it will cause more violence and possibly lead to war. I swear on my honor that what you suffered on your journey was not at our hands. I believe you, and I think someone else is behind this. You are an insightful woman. I ought to stop thinking every noble lady is haughty, and my deepest apologies. I would like to formally introduce myself. I am Artsy Sister. The man bows slightly and takes off his mask, revealing a handsome and rebellious face. How can you take off your mask so easily, my lord? Ida glances around anxiously. Artsy Sister. You never heard of me, but I'm sure. I'm sure if you search through the list of executions in 1848, you'll find my name in the list of those hanged. Then how are you here now? I thought the survivors had gone into exile in France. In contrast to my uneasiness, Count Andrade is very relaxed, and his face bears a nonchalant smile. That's what others believe, that I am living a carefree life in France, and they would not imagine I risk myself in return. I have my own reasons for coming here, but rest assured that I had no ill intent towards you. I wish to ask you for a favor, but I did not want to bother you. This has nothing to do with your Sissi, and we can involve her. Ida scowls. And what is it, Ida? It's nothing. And when we have reliable information, who may know the whereabouts of Ida's sister. Finally, some good news. But I cannot show my face, and I'm afraid Ida was seen by everyone as soon as she reached Paris. Could you meet our informant on our behalf? I can go myself. Sissi's clumsy and she stands out. How can she go? Who else could we ask, Ida? This must be what they were arguing about before. Ida saved my life without any hesitation. Of course I will help her. Canadrasi waits for a reply, and I will. Yes, of course I can do this, and I can go on Ida's behalf. You have no idea how dangerous this will be, Sissi. The Emperor's birthday is soon, and Paris is full of secret police. That's exactly why you can't go. You're too suspicious. You risk your life at the cliffs to save me, Ida. And I think of you as my little sister. You are so annoying. And I had planned to break contact with you as soon as we reach Paris, and I didn't expect to be injured on the way. I don't need you to do this for me. Ida's eyes turn slightly red, and she bites her lip and grips the hem of her skirt so hard that her knuckles go white. You needn't worry, Ida, and I'll be alright. What a gutsy girl. Go to the Ivy Pub tomorrow at 9 and give this collection of poems to the bartender with a scar over his eye. I take the collection of points and Kannadrasi smiles, and then he quickly disappears into the night. Fate has taken me further and further away from the peaceful life in Bavaria. Nanny is invited to an early meal by the Empress Mother next day, and the Archduke Karl invites her for a walk in the gardens. The summer palace gardens are beautiful and secluded, but I'm in no mood to enjoy them. My mind is preoccupied with tonight's plan. You look far away, Sissi. Is it because of that Count Wizard? No, it's not him. Don't be so quick to deny it, Sissi. Perhaps you haven't noticed it yourself. Everyone can see it now, and from the way you look at him, or the way you left with him in a hurry yesterday. My secret is suddenly exposed, and I feel embarrassed, and I want to dive into the bushes. Please stop, Carl. Count Wizard has never shared his feelings with me, and he hasn't even formally introduced himself. Really, and from the moment he saw you yesterday, a great sense of satisfaction filled his face. Perhaps you both made your choice already. But I will remind you as a friend that the freedom you desire is the exact thing he cannot give you. Carl looks at me earnestly, and his eyes fill with a great emotion I can't read, and I hang my head in shame. You can't understand what I'm saying now, but if it breaks your heart one day, I will beat him up for you. Thank you for always looking out for me, Carl. And I can't be easy with how stubborn I am. I should find a chance to confess my feelings. I have forgotten, and why would you ever listen to me? When you were young, I told you not to ride that wild horse, but you insisted, and even after you fell, you refused to give up. Let's not speak of this anymore, and I'd like to ask you for a small favor. Let me guess, you plan to sneak out? Yes, tonight, and I'd like to borrow a carriage and a coachman. Tonight, and where are you going? You know the palace is hosting dinner parties, and I cannot accompany you. I can go alone, and I want to sit in a common pub and collect some sheet music. My father has been working on a book about ballads. It's too dangerous to go out at night. You know that if you don't help me, I will find a way to sneak out on my own, Carl. And if you're totally worried, you may ask the coachman to keep an eye on me, and I'm just going to have a drink and some fun. Very well, I imagine your days of freedom are numbered. Carl nods helplessly to reassure him I accompany me in the summer palace. You don't need to risk yourself, Sissi. In fact, Ida frowns and opens her mouth as if to continue speaking. Then she hesitates and she paces around my room. I promise I'll bring back good news, Ida. I gently pat her shoulder and take the collection of poems from the drawer, and I take a deep breath. It's almost time. I hope this evening goes well. To blend into a pub, I should change into something plain. The coachman car has knows Bari quite well, and the carriage soon stops at the entrance of the unremarkable pub. The pungent scent of alcohol, sweat, and tobacco assaults my nose as soon as I open the door. Ah, remember those days when the people used to be able to smoke and stuff indoor? And because of the time period, it could also be opium. I scan my surroundings while clutching the poem collection and get seated in a small group thinking and chatting. I bet the Emperor's birthday celebration will cost tens of thousands of gulden. I think it's more than that. It's not just a birthday celebration, but also the Emperor's engagement party. Yet here we are, cowering in a dark corner, trading our hard-earned money for a glass of watered-down wine. Cheers, Stephen. At least our bellies are full. But the harvest will likely be poor again this year, and I don't know what we'll eat in the winter. Oh blast, the rule of this country rests on the Emperor's 4 expensive armies. an army of standing soldiers, an army of seated soldiers, an army of kneeling clerics, and an army of hidden spies. This is no different from when Methodist was in charge, and yet we still cling to the hope that he is an enlightened emperor. Shh, keep your voice down and start talking about the emperor, and you can never be sure who's spying, Stephen. The boorish man called Stephen is obviously drunk, and he slams his hand on the table and staggers to his feet. Come get me then. Arrest me. I can't live anymore anyway. Not since my little Susan died. And that was the third child, Maria, and I lost, and Maria died miserably too. I was a useless father, and I couldn't even afford my own children's medical bills. Also in modern days, that's still a very real, very modern problem. Don't say that, Stephen, if you haven't been wrongfully in prison for half the year. Stephen slumps drunkenly on the table and begins sobbing and shoulder shaking. And I feel a rush of emotion, and these people are whispering, complaining about their misfortune. And the bartender with his scar over his eye has been silently polishing the glass, and I quietly hand him the collection of poems. Someone actually came. The bartender gives me an intrigued look and hands me an envelope. I'm about to sigh in relief when the pub doors are thrown open and a troop of armed soldiers swarm inside. There are people challenging the Emperor's authority here. Arrest them all. It was him, not us. Someone points at Stephen, and the soldiers surround Stephen and his friends without waiting for an explanation and beat them senselessly. Stephen curls up into a ball on the ground and flails wildly. This guy must have an accomplice. Arrest everyone in the pub. And frightened of getting arrested and beaten, everyone rushes to the back door, and table chairs and wine bottles are knocked down. I have the letter now. I should get out here quickly. I tuck the envelope into my pocket and glance back at the bar, and the bartender has already disappeared. I follow the crowd, but I spot Stephen lying on the ground, moaning and bleeding from his head. He'll be beaten to death, and all he did was complain. Are you not running? And you'll be arrested if you stay. Someone shoves me, and this place has descended into chaos, and I decide to. Stop, don't hit him anymore, you'll kill him. I clench my fist and shout at the top of my lungs, and the lead officer is startled. What is this? An old lady sticking out to play, and how dare she meddle? We got a report he was slandering the royal family in public, and he deserves to be executed for this. He's a drunk and broken-hearted man, and he shouldn't be punished for babbling a few words. As far as I know, there are no such laws in Austria's Empire's Code, and the friend beside him is even more innocent. Since when was it the duty of the military to wantonly arrest citizens? Colluding with revolutionaries is a grave crime, and you have to think about where you stand before you speak. I stand with justice. Then you'll elaborate on justice in prison. Arrest her. I suppress my anxiety and take a few steps back, and I hit the solid edge of the table behind me. Trap. Let go of her. She's a passenger by, and she's behaving like your accomplice. The officer tightens his grip on my shoulder, and I feel a pound of pain, and my heart is about to leap out of my chest. Stop. Count Reza strides into the pub with a stern bellow, and scowling he scans the room. The room falls silent, and staring out at the majestic, inviolable Count Wizard. Put down your gun and cease this search. Your Majesty, they. The officer glances at Count Wizard and immediately looks away, and large beads of sweat trickle down his forehead as he stammers. Take your men away this instant. The Emperor ordered that you do not hurt innocents when making arrests. Or are you going to tell me everyone in this pub is a revolutionary? Yes, that's right. No, they're not. The officer wipes the sweat from his forehead, and he gathers his men and hastily leaves the pub, and they leave the pub an absolute wreck. Are you okay? Are you hurt? I'm okay, but he's seriously hurt. Reza glances at Stephen, who's lying on the ground, and his expression looks both compassionate and cold at the same time. He places a few silver coins on the table beside Stephen and gently pats me on the shoulder to comfort me. Let's leave this place. I follow Conrad out of the door, and when I glance back at Steven, he gives me a smile and mouths a silent thank you. He'll be okay. His wounds are superficial. He'll be fine once he finds a doctor. Ugh, a doctor that he can afford. Are we just going to leave him like that, and shouldn't we help him find a doctor? You are a kind and generous person, Sissy, but you must understand a situation before you can help someone. Reeser stops in his stride and I nearly bump into him. Reeser turns around and his face is cold as ice, and he's quite angry. Do you know how dangerous that place is? If it weren't for the coachman's quick thinking, do you think I would have come so quickly? Will you tell me what you were doing here at this hour? Reeser's tears pours into me, and his gaze is deep and cool and collected, but flashing darkly, and I don't want to lie to him, and I can only silently bow my head. You are a reckless girl, so you weren't here to hear ballads. You were here because of your Hungarian friend, aren't you? Yes, I came for Ida, for news of her sister. Huh. And since I can no longer allow her to accompany you. What? She is taking advantage of your kindness, and she has put you in danger time and time again. No, she hasn't. And as for Ida, I would have died on my journey to Barik. And it was the soldiers who caused the danger tonight, and not the people in the pub. The people were simply frustrated commoners with no way out of their predicaments. But you must admit the complaints were directed at the Empire, and the revolutionaries planning to overthrow the Empire mingling with them too. If you heard them, you would have discovered the complaints were full of disappointment and helplessness. The man that you're letting bleed in the pub was wrongfully imprisoned and could not pay the medical bill, so he lost 3 children and his wife. You promised me in Dresden that you would change this. Have you forgotten? No, I haven't forgotten, and my promise remains unchanged because it is not only a promise to you, but also my duty and my creed. But if the royal family tolerates and acquiesces in all matters, how will the empire maintain its dignity and stability? The emperor must consider the millions of people throughout his empire, not just a single individual. No, but to do evil on one individual for the sake of the many, that's just like the evil dictator way of thinking, you know. Everyone matters. Don't these single individuals make up the empire? Austria, Hungary, Bohemia, Dalmatia, Lombardy, Venice. Are these places made up of the emperor? Are made up of the emperor alone? If an empire of this magnitude obeys the whims of only one person, it will eventually fall. That's enough. You are challenging the emperor's authority, Sissi. Oh, I've forgotten you're an officer. The emperor likely trusts you very much. You may arrest me now. I tilt my head and look at Count Reeser square in the eye for the first time, and his blue-eyed gaze is filled with intense anger. He looks away and purses his lips, and he's trying to control his anger. I am disappointed in you, Sissi. My intention was to remind you to look out for your own safety above all, and no matter what happens, you should remain cautious of Ida and other individuals with unclear origin. Well, just because somebody has a very clear origin and a good pedigree doesn't mean that they're like good people, you know? And like lots of evildoers have had great family upbringings and names and stuff. Caligula, he had a good family and upbringing, and and he did awful, terrible things. What will you face in the future? Well, what you will face in the future will be more complicated than what you have faced in Bavaria. You mustn't be so stubborn anymore. And by stubborn, he means you must be an obedient little woman. You have the most mysterious origin. I don't know what family you come from, and I have always been a stubborn and unreasonable person, and have you only just realized? He says I'm an unreasonable person, and I can't believe I wanted to confess to him. I'm such an idiot. I'm nearly overwhelmed by the indignation and resentment I feel, and I turn away from him and run towards an alley. Sissy, wait. He grasps my wrist and pulls me into a warm embrace. My heart flutters and Conrison releases me and covers the back of my hand with a silk handkerchief. I notice a faint trace of blood on the back of my hand and I must have scratched myself. You hurt your hand and be careful when you return. His voice is softer and gentler like the moonlight, but I don't dare look at his face and I close the handkerchief and walk away without looking back. The carriage waits at the mouth of the alley and I climb in and Carl stares at me in shock. Why are you crying, Sissy? Are you hurt? Impossible. And he went impersonate, and how could he allow you to be hurt? I wipe the tears spilling down my face with a handkerchief and stare out the window. Cal Racer stands alone at the mouth of the alley, and he looks even more thin and lonely in the night. He saved me, and I didn't even thank him. Yeah, saved me. Yeah, she saved him for like his own soldier. That doesn't really quite count on in my book. So like, he gave a bunch of like bully lunatics the authority to like bully whoever they perceive as revolutionary. And then under that mantra, literally everyone falls under that category. Whatever. Moving along. I return to the palace late at night, utterly exhausted, and my mother gives me a good scolding and grounds me. I pass the envelope to Ida, but she sighs heavily when she opens it. There's a blank sheet of paper inside. I'm worried about Ida will be upset, but she seems to have expected it, and she persuades me not to concern myself with it anymore. I watch closely for the next few days, and Mother hires an instructor to teach me how to dance, and she's worried I'll make a fool of myself at the birthday celebration. These changes make me restless, but what really troubles me is the argument I had with Count Wizard. Are you alright, Sissy? You've been so listless these past few days. I'm fine, Nene, don't worry. The Emperor's birthday is tomorrow, and you must rest tonight. Nene sighed softly, and her slightly frown makes her look troubled. What's wrong, Nene, and have you seen the Emperor yet? I met him 2 nights ago for a brief moment. And how was it? Is he still as handsome and dashing as you remember? Did you talk to him? My heart feels with happiness for Nene, but Nene flushed and shakes her head slightly. The Emperor looked very serious, and I think he was worried about something. Then someone called in and whispered a few words in his ear, and his expression changed, and he apologized and left in a hurry. We met for less than 10 minutes, and it was barely a greeting. Well, you'll formally meet the Emperor during tomorrow's birthday celebration. Don't worry so much, Nene. The Emperor has to think about the millions of people. Okay then, did something happen when you and the Archduke Carl went out 2 nights ago, Sissy? Why have you looked so upset since? Nene, I'm feeling anxious and frustrated and unsettled. I seem to have fallen for someone. I rub at the back of my hand and my wound has healed, but I feel the warmth of his fingers. I care about his opinion a great deal, and when we disagree, I argue with him. And I'm even more stubborn than usual with him, but I hope that he'll still care for me despite that. I think you love him even more than you think you do, Sissy. And will you tell me who is this man who makes you act so strangely, dear sister? I don't know who he is, not really, and I don't think we'll meet each other again. I treated him very rudely 2 nights ago, and I fear he'll never want to see me again. If he truly loves you, Sissy, how could he stop seeing you after one argument? Like all great relationships and romance are built upon arguments on top of arguments upon arguments. Or so says the bad relationship counselor person. Whatever. It's impossible to assume that you're not going to argue at least once in your marriage, relationship, or whatever. Nene smiles and strokes my head and I hug her. Rest well, Nene, and you will become the happiest woman in the palace tomorrow. I hope so. Nene leaves my room and I lean despondently against the window and I catch sight of a figure far, far away. The figure approaches slowly and gradually becomes clearer and clearer and my heart pounds harder and harder. He walks to the tree closest to my room and paces. Has Count Razor come to see me? I have to put on a coat and go meet him. I can't think straight, and I run all the way to the tree before slowing down. Count Razor hears my footsteps and turns to see me, and I can see he's pleasantly surprised from his slight raised eyebrows. What are you doing here, Sissy? I don't know. What were you doing lurking near my general vicinity? Should I tell him I came down to see him? Should I apologize for what happened 2 days ago? No? But it's better to apologize even if you're right, cause like you can be right and still be a jerk about it. You know? I saw you under the tree from the window and rushed down. And I came to see you. I wanted to apologize. You sent me at the pub that night, regardless of what else happened. And I should thank you, but all I did was argue with you, and I feel terrible about it. No, I should apologize to you. I was worried about you, and I spoke harshly without thinking. To tell you the truth, I was panicked at the thought that something might have happened to you, and on the way to the pub, and I haven't dared come to see you at the palace, and I could only think to stand here hoping that you'll pass by or see me from the window. What if I never came? I would have stood here forever, or I would have thought of something else. I wanted to see you tonight no matter what. Henry's deep blue eyes look at me fondly, and I can tell that there are many things he wants to say. If you do not resent me for what happened 2 days ago, I wish to invite you to walk with me. It would be my honor. I guess going for a walk is like the 1800 equivalent of like Netflix and chill. You know, just doing a lazy type of activity that's not too energy intensive. Conrad and I walk along the quiet path to the pine forest outside the summer palace. The dark clouds clear and the silver glow of the full moon shines on us, and Razor's eyes are as bright as moonlight. What you said the other day, the Emperor already knows. Investing millions of guldens to build an army of spies to watch over his own people, this was not the Emperor's wish. He used to visit the Commoner's Quarter to verify the accuracy of his weekly reports and saw many distressing sights. But the Empire is unstable and no Emperor would dare take risks now. I know change can be accomplished overnight, especially in such a large empire. But Mr. Malais told me that everything could change in the near future, including. Conrad tightens his grip on his sword, and he looks down and frowns, and I don't finish my sentence. He sighs softly, but his face is still gloomy. It's no secret that many wish to overthrow the royal family. Because that was a fashion in the day, like off with their head type of situation. Like, it's even a miracle that like there's still kings and queens roaming around in Europe, considering that in the 1800s, like the peasants went in a king decapitation spree. The Emperor plans to declare a general amnesty after his birthday celebration and release most of the Hungarian political prisoners. Really? That's fantastic, Artsy Sister. If she was on the list of apprehended criminals, they will soon be reunited, so please do not take any more risks. I know you must have persuaded the Emperor. As a soldier, your allegiance lies with the Emperor, and I willfully slander him. You were right to call me stubborn, but what matters is I accept you. But please believe the Emperor loves his people from the bottom of his heart. He understands better than anyone that his throne shouldn't be built atop of bayonets, and instead it should rest on the love of his people. The Emperor is wise, but outside the palace, rumors persist that he is brutal and tyrannical. That's because an Emperor's order is sometimes created by power-hungry schemers. The Emperor should share his beliefs with the people directly. This ancient empire does not need a progressive emperor, and he cannot express his beliefs any more clearly. However, the emperor intends this general amnesty to be a gesture of goodwill. Yeah. He hopes that the people will trust him again and the conflict between Austria and Hungary can be resolved peacefully. Now you put like people in prison for like disagreeing with you, and then afterwards you release them and be like, oh, squares, don't worry about it. Yeah, we're not mad, right? Yeah. That definitely never ends well. Just saying. You put somebody, like you put somebody. I mean, especially if they're like people that were put like who were innocent, who just happened to be in the general vicinity. How we saw in the bar scene, that's definitely not gonna cause problems. Just do the right thing, but like expect or don't do the wrong thing to have to like have you do the wrong or whatever. Moving on. Have you ever heard any speak of an Austro-Hungarian dual monarchy? An Austro-Hungarian dual monarchy. That is Mr. Malay's greatest wish. He wants to build a dual monarchy with both nations as equal. It's a long story, and perhaps the emperor cannot accept it yet. I want to find an opportunity to bring his suggestion to him. I think you'll find many opportunities in the future. After many years of helplessness and loneliness, I am certain the emperor hopes for someone who speaks to him as an equal. Perhaps when Nene becomes empress, I may be able to meet him. Nene will make an amazing empress, and she is dignified and generous and a good listener. Can read his smile face and he swallows. Have you considered being the empress, Sissi? Me? You are also a princess of Bavaria. Please don't make fun of me. I don't understand court etiquette, nor do I please the archduchess, and I can't even dance. But Nene is different, and she has always been strict with herself, and I can't think of anyone more suitable. Suitable? Is suitability that important? Of course, it's not the most important thing, and what's most important is that Nene loves the emperor, and I don't think there's a better match in the world. Has someone asked the emperor what he wants? I hadn't considered that. But Nene is a wonderful person, and I'm sure the emperor will love her. The night wind blows silently, and I think I hear it raise her sigh and no louder than a whisper. What if the emperor doesn't love Nene? You're close to him, comrade. Do you know how he feels? No one has ever asked the emperor how he feels, and he's not one to speak of it either, and naturally I know nothing. Everyone believes the emperor has to choose an empress who will benefit the nation's stability. His Imperial Majesty, I feel bad for him. Who can truly follow their heart and do what they wish, Sissi? He is the emperor, and he must bring happiness to millions of people, and when can he do as he pleases? In the past, I would have chosen to follow my heart without hesitation, but now my opinion is the same. You may think I'm childish and reckless, but I still believe a person should follow their heart no matter what. Life is short. Living in a cage will be a waste. But we have responsibilities to bear and duties to fulfill. If he cannot at least acknowledge his desire, he may spend his entire life conflicted and in pain. Is that the best way to fulfill his duties? Thank you for solving my dilemma, Sissi. I am making a big decision. I think I made my choice. Canrisa glances at me gently yet steadfast, and he offers his hand to me. May I have this dance, beautiful lady? Dance? And why are you suddenly asking me to dance? We missed our opportunity in Dresden, and I'd like to make it up. But I don't know how to dance. I'm taking lessons now, and I'm not dressed for it. We can start with simple stuff. If we don't do this tonight, I'm worried I'll regret it. Harriet's smile slowly widens, and he gazes down at me, and his eyes bright as stars. The moonlight outlines his face clearly. He's so handsome, and without thinking, I place my hand in his. Take your time, don't rush, and left foot, then right foot. And his voice is low and pleasant, and I dance awkwardly, and I just can't follow his steps. You're a wonderful dance partner, but I can't do this. I think we should stop, and I keep stepping on your feet. Learning to dance will do you no harm, and you have many uses for it in the future. Perhaps as soon as tomorrow night. Carl has invited me to a dance during the ball, but I was planning to make something up. Everyone will be focused on the Emperor and Nene anyway. What if the Emperor asks you to dance? You're joking again. The Emperor would ask Nene to dance, of course, and what would he ask me? There are so many people who want to become Empress, and why are you not interested at all? Cousin Richard asked me this so many. Cousin Richard has asked me this so many times tonight. Why? Because being Empress means I have to bear an Empress responsibility, and I want to live a carefree life. More importantly, I don't love the Emperor. I nearly blurted out, and I fell back to the last word stiffly. But in a moment of panic, I accidentally stepped on the hem of my skirt and I tilted backwards. Careful. Khan raised a grip around my waist tightest and I stumbled into his arms. His warm breath rushes against my ear, and for a moment my mind goes blank and all I can hear is the deafening sound of the racing heart. Sorry. A fresh scent like the pine forest envelops me, and flustered I push him away, but meet his intense gaze instead. Thank you for telling me how you feel, Sissi, and for reaffirming my decision. What decision? Don't worry, what is your favorite flower? I like roses. They blossom like small flames and they make me feel like life is full of warmth. Roses are my favorite as well. It's a good description for a rose, like a tiny flame. And what is your favorite color? Purple. Carissa and I dance and talk, and when we aren't tired and we don't pay attention to the time. And we talk about many topics from nature to literature, from history to the future of the empire, and our dances gradually synchronize. And only when the sky has begun to brighten do I hurry back to my room, and only he remains in my mind. I returned to my room excited to tell Ida the news about the pardon, but she's not there. There are two letters on the dressing table, and I opened the letter on top. My dear Duchess Elizabeth, my deepest apologies. I mentioned the other night was a test, and I did not expect you would be in any danger. And I am terribly sorry, and please forgive me for thinking out this terrible plan to verify your bravery and selfishness. And there were 112 revolutionaries, including Melinda, who were arrested and imprisoned. And we desperately need a trustworthy friend to be our intermediate for future peace talks with the Emperor. And allow me to apologize one last time. In the future, I promise you my eternal loyalty, Andrassi. I see, the count intentionally arranged for a blank piece of paper, and no wonder Ida stammered through that meeting. The Count wants to make peace, and the Emperor intends to pardon the President, and Mr. Malay's wish may come true very soon. But how can I be an intimidator for them, and the Emperor doesn't even know who I am? Perhaps I should ask Count Wizard. And I opened the second letter, which contains Ida's crooked handwriting. Sissi, you will understand everything after you read the Count's letter, and this was the real reason I argued with the Count, and he wants to become an intermediary. But I don't want you to put you in a difficult position, and I recover, so it's time for me to leave you. And thank you for your care, but I will continue to fight for my nation, and I hope we never become enemies. Your friend, Ferenci Ida. Fereneci Ida. Fereneci. It is Hungarian tradition to put surnames before giving names, and I didn't expect to learn Ida's surname during her goodbye. I raised a sigh, but Ida is nowhere to be seen, and a maid tells me that a girl in red riding outfit left the summer palace on horseback early this morning. I guess she's the original Little Red Riding Hood. Despite the spirit that I returned to my room only to bump into Mother and Nene. Ada disguised herself and left the palace, and she's looking for Count Andrassi. Where have you been, Sissy? Go, dress, quickly. Nene's lifelong happiness depends on today. Have you seen Ida, mother? And she left early this morning. Oh, thank God, that child is more responsible than I thought. Nene will soon become the Empress of Austria, and it wouldn't do for her to stay with us any longer. I'll be sending a telegram to Max and warning him not to meet with those circus members anymore. Mother, it's dangerous for Ida to go alone. Ida could be in even more danger if she stays with us, Sissy. The Emperor said martial law will be lifted in several cities tomorrow. Ada will be able to return to her hometown, so you shouldn't worry too much. The Emperor still likes you, and he may have left in a hurry the other day, but he still shared important news with you. Why do you still worry the Emperor will not like you? A faint blush appears in Nene's cheeks, and shyly she wrings her hand. I hope Ida will see her sister soon. I knew Ida would one day leave me without saying goodbye, but now that the day has come, there was a pang in my heart. Would I ever see Ida again? And now, Sissy, don't think about her anymore, and you cannot be late for the ball today. Which reminds me, Arthur Carl personally bought you a gift earlier today. Carl? Someone paused it. I opened the gift, and there's a rose and a cross-shaped brush with a purple gem inside of it. What a beautiful brush. Carl knows what you like, Sissy. Purple gems are quite rare, and this is an expensive gift, and Carl is a thoughtful man. A rose and a purple gem. I don't think this gift is from Carl, it's from him. It's Count Razor attending the ball tonight. And now daydreaming, Sissy, it's time to change. Don't wear that pink silk dress. Nene, I think a light yellow suit will suit you better. Wear that periwinkle crown as well. And you can wear any dress, Sissy. Just be careful not to step on your partner's feet when dancing. Yes, mother. I have to wait until after the ball to ask Count Razor to search for Ida. Mother lectured me on many fine points of ballroom etiquette. In proper attire, we go to the ballroom. Guests enter one after another, and I hear each one being announced to the Emperor. When we reach the entrance, Nene suddenly stops. What's wrong, Nene? Nothing. I just suddenly felt a little nervous. I gently hold Nene's hand, and her fingers are gone, slightly cold, and I smile at her, and this is my first time comforting Nene like an older sister. Don't worry, Nene, you will become the happiest person in the world tonight. Princess Ludovica, Duchess of Bavaria, and Princess Helen of Bavaria, and Princess Elizabeth of Bavaria. The ballroom is brightly lit, and I hear cheerful, elegant waltz music. And following Mother's instruction, I looked down as I slowly walk into the ballroom and drop into a perfect curtsy. Welcome, Aunt Ludovica. Welcome, Helen. And I hear a low, familiar voice in front of me, and my whole body shivers, and I look up in surprise. Beneath the bright, blinding lights, Razor is standing straight and tall before me, and he looks more dignified than ever. He stands in the center of the hall, and everyone is looking at him with admiration. His identity is obvious. It's very nice to meet you, Elizabeth. Wait, Razor is... I stare incredulous into the Emperor's eyes, and his gaze is still warm and affectionate, but feels like a stranger's. That is the Emperor, Sissy. Do not stare at him so dumbly. Mother hisses at me, but I am rooted to the spot, and tears well up in my eyes. Are you alright, Sissy? I apologize for my rudeness, Your Imperial Majesty. The lights are too bright. I hastily rise and do my best to collect myself, and my smile is bitter. Sissy? The Emperor looks at me as if I'm the only one in the room, and his eyes are filled with anxiety, and as I wish to sink to the floor. You are such an idiot, Sissy. His uniform is covered in badges, and he called his brother, and he shared the emperor's trouble with you again and again. Why do you never realize, and why do you allow yourself to fall deep into the warm's mesmerizing dream? It's like, dude, the only thing that was left for him to tell you, for him to spell out for you, I am the emperor. But I guess, like, you know, you gotta consider that during those days they didn't have like television and stuff, and it was very easy for people not to have any idea what somebody in another country looked like a king or something, you know. Like this is all 18th century, like 19th century problems that were immediately solved with the invention of like the television. Presenting Maximilian, hereditary Prince of Turn and Tarsis. So he also owns Tarsis? Okay. I'm sorry, Sissi. The Emperor apologizes in a low voice, and he walks past me and shakes hands with the incoming guest. The Empress mother looks at me with disdain, and she pulls mother and Nene aside to speak with them. Panic, I search for a corner to stand in, and I can hear people talking all around me. Look how the Empress mother is behaving. The future Empress has been chosen. But her lineage is impure, and her grandmother, the Princess of Edinburgh, was not part of an independent royal family. Oh God, like, can you imagine? Just how nitpicky can you get? So by impure, are they complaining that they're not inbred, dude? Yeah, the Habsburgs, who famously were inbred for inbred again. Still, Princess Helen is quite tall and graceful, and she conducts herself demurely and elegantly as well. So that sister is quite disgraceful. How can she panic when she met the Emperor just now? And what an embarrassment. That's right, he's the one Nene loves, and Sissi the one Nene, and the one that Nene will marry. He is Franz Joseph, the Emperor of Austrian Empire. It's time for you to wake up and put aside this hopeless love, Sissi. My heart is being torn apart, and I cannot look at the man shining amid the crowd, and I just want to leave. But my mother grasped my hand tightly. Why are you standing in a corner, Sissi? Stand next to Nene. Follow tradition, and the Emperor will use the bouquet he's holding to ask Nene to dance. I don't feel well, Mother. I'd like to leave. What are you saying, Sissi? This is the most important moment in Nene's life. Do not cause for trouble. Mother. Mother pulls me to Nene's side, and I sway unsteadily, and Nene is focused on the Emperor, who is close by. Cheerful music presents us to a climax, and my ears are ringing. The music suddenly stops, and the Emperor walks towards us, holding a large bouquet of roses, and his features are dark and striking, and he smiles slightly. He's so handsome, the room falls silent. The Emperor is coming towards you, Nene. He approaches us step by step, and every step he takes feels like a blow to my heart, and I squeeze my eyes shut. This is Nene's moment of joy, and I have to act normal. Don't let them see that you're a lunatic, just like your father raised you to be. May I please have this dance, Elizabeth? My eyes open, and I see the bouquet of roses, and then his jaw, his nose, and his bright shining eyes. He's giving me the flowers to me. Please accept the flowers, Sissi. The Emperor repeats himself, and the whole world has gone silent, and I hear only his voice and my own heartbeat.
By the way, this actually happened in real life.
Yeah, like that. This legitimately happened, legitimately in like the real world. He shows the other sister, the crazy one, not the one that his mother wanted him to marry.
Yeah, it's like he's even more crazy than she is.
Yeah. Cause you know how boys are. In order to be a contrarian to their mother, they will marry the other chick, the chick that their mother hates the most. It ain't the first time that like a guy has married a chick that his mother hates. Like, the more he hates them, she hates the chick, the more he likes her.
Also, the Emperor was out of his mind too. Completely by chilling scene.
Yeah, Like yeah, the Netflix series that follows Empress Sissi is from this point onwards after their marriage and stuff. Whatever. Gas and wild whispers rise all around us and finally understand what's happening. He's asking me to dance. He's proposing. Panic I look at Nene and she's clutching her skirt and a probable stiff smile on her lips. You took my man, my little sister. I'll murder you. No, Nene should become empress. I can't steal the one Nene loves, but he's also the one I love. What should I do? Let's go. Yeah, let's just take our sisters, man. Reach out at everybody hand. Memories of my time with Razor flash in my eyes, and I reach out my hand. But this is too cruel to Nene. I can't. Then do it. I pull my hand back, but the Emperor pushes the roses closer, and his face steadfast and intense. This is for you, Sissy. This is only for you. His long fingers brush my palm, and my heart trembles, and unsettled I take the roses. Take the bouquet. Take it! The Emperor commands that you take these roses.
And they chose to
And the animation throws them at you. Take him! Take fast! Take him! His Imperial Majesty asks Princess Elizabeth to dance with him. The music begins again in a bright polka song. Oh yeah, like polka. Polka! Dun, dun, dun. Ivanesco. Tari papi, pari papi, you know the Ivanesco polka. The Baron erupts with applause. Someone respectfully holds the bouquet for me, and the Emperor takes my hand and leads me to the dance floor. My body is stiff, but since we rehearsed the night before, the Emperor and I danced together smoothly. I am so sorry, Sissy. I didn't mean to hide this from you. But I couldn't find the right time to confess, and you must be surprised and angry. I am very confused, Your Imperial Majesty. Call me France, Sissy. You already know how I feel, and it was you who gave me a courage to make this choice tonight. From the bottom of my heart, I ask you to spend the rest of my life. I ask to spend the rest of my life with you. Boom! Gorgeous fireworks bloom outside the window, and my heart feels full and heavy at the same time. I catch a glimpse of Nene running away. I'm sorry, sister, I took your man. Nene! Fate has been so cruel to the both of us. I'm sorry, sister, I took your man. Alright, we'll continue with Princess Sissy the next time I stream time. Princess, but I hope you have